I understand the two of you may or may not soon be meeting with theaters and different distributors. Do you
No,
have
we
it?
may.
Oh, you may. Okay, so it is happening. Okay,
Yeah, we
all
are.
right, okay.
Not with distributors.
Not to, oh, why?
Are we ready to go that? Yeah?
Well, there's a, we are meeting, there'll be distributors, this won't be out before tonight. So there are distributors, there are people who are coming to see Anderson Bench tonight. But we're talking about meeting with theaters. I've done this one time before.
Can we also interject real quick?
Certainly we can. What would we like to say?
Well, we would
Us?
like to say,
The royal we.
right? You have to kind of go back to how the vaudeville days were. Do you know what I mean? And then that kind of gives people a little bit more insight, which is taking into the road shows, doing the Mike Todd things.
Was it called a truck and pony? Truck and pony show? What's the expression?
It was a dog and pony show.
Dog and pony show.
A dog and pony show.
But there was a bus and truck was
right.
When you do
When there was also
theater,
pedaling.
it's a bus and truck, or you pedal.
You pedaled. So they had theater owners that would pedal. They would bicycle, and they would start
pedal
at,
their print to
Right.
the next theater.
and they owned groups of theaters, and so it's there are still theater owners. There are theater owners like
There
that.
are still
Shut
theater
up.
owners.
There are theater owners like that in the South, or the Southern region. I don't know many in the North, but anyway,
That's your microphone.
that own theaters. And so back then you would bicycle. You would start off at one theater, and that reel was bicycled to the next theater, so you could start the movie in that theater. So they would own one print. It's kind of taking.
And you know, I actually did that, right?
You bicycled?
Well, I was in my Dodge truck, but yeah.
Right, but that's
I
what I'm saying.
actually
But that's
did that.
where that comes from. It's from the original single-screen movie theater owners, and it was called bicycling.
Right, pedaling. You'd pedal from one place to the other.
So anyway, go ahead with your
So
story.
that's that's
Educational
where
moment.
things. That's right. This educational moment brought to you
Mike
by
Todd.
a bicycle. There's a. I believe that there's a way around everything. There's a way around it that the entire industry has changed. It's easier to make movies now. The only thing it's not easier to do now is to get distribution, because the same people are in control of distribution. And God bless them. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's corporate people, or not necessarily creative people, non-creative people, at the very last stage of a creative process. That makes no sense. That by the time you get to right just before you're going to bring the birthday cake out with the candles on it, you've got somebody with a fire extinguisher, right? Like going, you can't have that out here. Well, wait a minute, why? It's a birthday cake with candles. No, you can't do that. There are children out there. Yes, it's a child's birthday. Don't you understand? It's a little bit of a tangent. But so what we're trying to do, 34 years ago, I and a group of people recognized a flaw in fundraising. And it was very much the same thing. People would raise money, and by the time the money was just about ready to go where it needed to go, someone else got a hold of it and it didn't go to the right place, or someone took something off the top and it didn't. It was a flawed system. So 4 people started something called the Children's Miracle Network, and in less than 15 years we became the single largest children's charity in the world, and we still are, because we didn't know any better than to have somebody with a fire extinguisher blowing the candles out before Johnny got to make a wish. Okay? So what we believe now is that there are tremendously expensive theater chains out there that are owned by people who are in the movie business. They're on the hook for $40-50 million for a Cineplex because they want to be in the movie business, because they loved Old Yeller, and they loved The Godfather, and they loved Harold and Maude, and they loved Herbie the Love Bug, and loved and loved and loved and loved and loved. But now, because they have a mortgage and because they have a loan and they are now being forced to be more in the business model than the show model. And I believe that to be true. Do I have anything to back that up? No. But for me, it seems like common sense. Well, this makes sense. So I think there's a way to make a deal to distribute films directly to cinema owners rather than have to go this way, which for me seems like the long way around the barn. Just go right to the people who are selling popcorn and offer them content. Offer them a way to put butts in seats, but offer them a way to be back in the show part of show business. So that's what we're involved in right now, and we may be howling at the moon. I have no idea, but it's worth a try.
Right, we have to, and that's the fun part of it. And I think that we both are like-minded in the sense that we have to make it back to it being an event. And that's why I bring up vaudeville. It was always the juggler before the show, or this or that before the show. And there's a lot of connecting parts that we're talking about, but it's connecting with those theater owners who have been in business since the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. They're family
Yeah, these are the
owned.
grandchildren of people who built the first theater.
Right, and it's really taking them, the content, and then creating this event. And I don't want to say it all because there's certain connecting elements that we're doing, but
There's a lot. There's a whole lot to it.
it is a road show type
Yeah.
venue.